Well, hello, welcome to the video. So, today I talk about a nice little hobby of mine. I've been seeing a few too many people online right now who are talking about how they don't have any hobbies. Is it really a good thing? You kind of need hobbies in life, they're pretty important. Play a good role in building, you as a person, your character, bringing enjoyment to life so you aren't mindlessly scrolling all the time, helping meet people. Bunch of good reasons. And this hobby is a particular favorite of mine that's pretty underrated. Not many people know about it. Pretty sure all of you have seen, or at least heard of what a butterfly knife is. You've probably seen it in some movies, although they aren't in modern movies as much. Their presence still lingers in some places. Yeah, knife originally in the Philippines has two handles, one blade. You might know by their more technical term as a balisong. And this hobby involves them quite a lot because the whole point of this hobby is to flip them in a cool way. If you've ever done pin spinning, yo-yo, kendama, it's similar to that, but with a knife instead. It's like a skill toy type thing, although I'm not really calling it that because it's, knives. This hobby can be one of those hobbies where it can be cheap or expensive depending on how much you're willing to spend. Most good trainers will run you probably 20, 30, well, 30, 40, like 30 to $70. Although, there are also higher end versions that can run you like 100, 400, 300. But those aren't necessary to actually start or get far into the actual hobby. And with how Nablus, a very budget brand, has been doing, there's a lot of new ones, a lot of better ones. Quick side note, if you don't know what a trainer is, it's basically just like a weapon, in this case a balisong, that doesn't have like a sharp blade. It has like, instead of a blade, like a normal blade where it's thick at the back and your spine and it goes into like a thin edge. This one's just thick all the way through. That way it's safe, you can hit your hand, because there are quite a few tricks that involve throwing it and catching it, which can be quite dangerous if you have a live blade and aren't good at it, when you're good at it, there's still risks because, there's still unpredictability of gravity and whatnot. But if you're looking to get into the hobby, which, I mean, you probably aren't, but you should. I mean, it's a good hobby to try out. I would say, you could get like a cheap $8 one. Those will break and will cause you a lot of problems with some tricks. So I'd recommend getting something like the Nabulus Impulse, or maybe the Canyon from Nabulus again. I could budget off, and some people would say that the Cheese or the Thomas Refault is also good, but those are 75 compared to the first two, which are only 40. Now there are some decent ones on Amazon. They're like 20, 30. I just recommend getting something that's at least like aluminum, some kind of metal. Steel ones can be quite heavy, like the Canyon. It can cause some problems for people who, like, it's quite controversial because it can cause like issues with transitioning to other types of flipping. Other types just mean using other balisongs, like same with plastic ones, so they're not the best to get. But aluminum's a pretty good standing starting point. That's what most of the like beginner friendly ones are. They're typically going to be that material. So the hobby is really good for training your dexterity. It's also, it can keep you away from bad habits because you have something to occupy your time with, so you aren't doing stupid decisions and whatnot, like wasting your time on TikTok, doing drugs and stuff, or, looking at porn sites. Uh, the hobby does take a long time to truly get good at. Like, if you look it up on TikTok or anything, you'll see a bunch of really good flippers. Those guys have spent years learning, so it sounds discouraging when I say years, but that just that just means that you'll have something that you can actually partake in for a long time, man. It doesn't really take years to get good at it. I mean, you can get good in probably like a month, maybe, but you won't really have that same level of like flow or consistency. Like, if you truly work on it and keep trying, you can get pretty good at it relatively quickly in the grand scheme of things. So it's not the worst.
You
If you're
got this,
looking to get
Felix.
started, there's a
Survive.
lot of tutorials here on YouTube. You can also find some on TikTok. I like Oats is a really good content creator. He does like a part series where he shows the individual parts of how to get good. He's pretty good at the hobby. There is a bit of a jump randomly around like part 13 But he does a good job. Most of the community will be active on Instagram, although you will still find a probably good amount of videos on YouTube and TikTok. Like, when I say his hobby is like niche, I mean the biggest like content creator in this hobby probably has about like 300k subs. So there's not that many people who are truly in this hobby, especially making videos on it. But it's a hobby that can be fun. It can, help occupy your time. It'll give you learn a cool skill. And overall, it's just a pretty fun little hobby. I recommend you checking out and maybe watch some videos, more videos on it. There's another channel I like. What's his name? Blade Bias. He does pretty good videos. The companies that make Battle Songs, the most famous ones like Squid Industries, Navalis, they also make videos on it. It's also really popular in the Asian countries, like those Asian side countries like Korea, Japan. I'm not entirely sure about Japan, but I know that it's in Korea. So there's quite the good range. Even if you're in other places, it might be a bit harder to get like an actual knife there. But the hobby itself can really, I'm just repeating myself at this point, kind of right now, things to say. Over and all in all, it's a fun hobby, and I just recommend you check it out at least once before you throw it off or throw this video off. So just let it sling in back in mind, maybe get a shot one day. Anyway, yes, that's all I have to say. I've been repeating myself for a while now, so sorry for low mic quality. I guess I have a cheap mic. And anyway, without further ado, I'll see you later. Hopefully you'll look at this video later having actually done the hobby or something else and another hobby occupy your time. Without ado, I'll see you later.
Bears have made significant